Many of the incidents you have just viewed were not accidents. They were the result of a normalization of deviation. That is an odd-sounding term. Normalization, deviation, what does it mean? By definition, it is the process by which deviance from the correct or proper behavior becomes culturally normalized. In the context of workplace safety, it means deviating from the safe way of performing a task and using one that is unsafe. Often it involves a shortcut to get a job done quicker. It may have been triggered by external pressures, needing to finish the job on time, getting home from a birthday party, a dinner, getting the kids to the hockey game, whatever. It could be a situation something like this. You're an arborist, construction worker, utility worker, snowplow operator, whatever. Your job has many hazards, and you know there are safety protocols and procedures that you must follow, as well as specialized personal protective equipment. However, because of the external pressure, you justify the time-saving shortcut and ignore procedures at the expense of your own safety and possibly that of others. Not taking the time to don the safety harness. You don't put the guard back on the saw. Don't check the air quality before you enter the confined space. Fail to do your pre-trip inspection. But you say to yourself, I've done this type of work hundreds of times in the past. Nothing bad has ever happened. So you do this task just this one time without the proper PPE, devices, protocols, practices, and nothing bad happens. There are no bad consequences immediately. You get the job done, there are no injuries, no issues. So what happens is you'll be mightily tempted to do it again. And slowly what happens? The deviation becomes the norm. Here's where you're supposed to be in doing these hazardous tasks, and here's where you are now. This deviation is now invisible to you. It has been normalized into your behavior. And furthermore, young workers who are modeling their behavior after more senior employees start doing the same thing. This bad behavior becomes systemic, and then one day, predictable consequences occur. They are a direct result of this deviation, and tragedy occurs, and this happens all too often in the workplace. The solution to avoiding this is not complicated. It just requires being diligent and being mindful of doing what things are critical to avoid injury or worse. Pivotal to operating a safer workplace is to identify the gap between where you should be in performing the hazard tasks and where you are now. The task is to close the gap and pave the way to a safe work environment. Recognizing that shaving off what might amount to only seconds is not worth spending the rest of your life in chronic pain, a wheelchair, or worse. The reasons to have a culture that prioritizes health and safety are convincing. A direct message to the team that their health, safety, well-being, and happiness are important to the organization. And of course, the business benefits. Less sick days, injury leave, insurance claims, fines, and other factors that drive organizational reputation in this new era of social media where any news spreads like wildfire. Understanding the concept and outcomes of normalization of deviation and taking actions are fundamental to operating a safe, effective, and healthy workplace.